Hello and welcome. It's Holy Trinity Mission Network, and I'm Eze Vinblaise. Today, I want to be talking about something that has really been happening and I've been observing, and many of us may have been observing too, and yet many of us are also guilty of that. These things happen in church. Yeah. Have you ever been to an event before? An event that have a star coming to perform, either a music artist or a comedian. In that event, you will discover that people are meant to stay in the VIP or on the regular side. Those who come on the VIP are those who are going to sit very close to the stage where the performer would be performing, so they could have a better glimpse of their artist or their performer. And this happens in events. But there is a problem. In church, where there is Christ, who is the greatest artist, the Lord, the minister, and above all, the God of our service or our mass or our sacrifice. He's put or relegated in a corner, or he's relegated down low and made to seem like he's nothing. Although I would like to read from the Gospels. I want to just give a picture of what it could have looked like before I continue to talk about it. I want to read from Matthew, from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 14, verse 13. It says, when Jesus had the news about John, he left there in a boat and went to a lonely place by himself. The people heard about it, so they left their towns and followed him by land. Jesus got out of the boat, and when he saw the large crowd, his heart was filled with pity for them, and he healed those who were ill. This is my point, my first point anyway. We are talking about people chasing after Jesus, people looking for him, people wanting to hear him. People had to go online, walking all the way to find him. Now, coming back to my point about what happens in church that I've observed that when you come to church, the front pews are always empty. The back pews are always filled with people. Now, at events, unlike in the church, at events, the front seats are occupied with people who are paid so much money to sit and look at human beings who are going to be called their stars or whatever they call them. But at mass, people are seated at the back, which becomes the VIP. For those who would sit at the back, they are very important people who feels that it isn't necessary or it isn't important to sit at the front. It isn't important to come and witness Jesus who is on the altar of sacrifice. This is something that is absurd, and it doesn't have a place in our lives. And to continue in the gospel, it is said that Jesus had pity on them. And when he had pity on them, he started doing what? He started healing them. But it wasn't enough. It continued, because at a time they became more and hungry. What happened? Jesus did something. Jesus never wanted them to leave. So he said, from 17, when he started reading, he said, all we have here are 5 loaves and 2 fish. They replied. Then bring them here to me, Jesus said. He ordered the people to sit down on the grass. Then he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, looked up to heaven and gave thanks to God. he broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. What are we trying to say here? I'm trying to give you a picture of what happens when Christ discovered your hunger for him. What happens first? He saw them and he had pity on them and he started to heal them, isn't it? Secondly, he never let them go. He healed them anyway, yes, which is actually what was basic for them. They needed these healings. But secondly, he now discovered their hunger for now food, which is actually in our first video we were talking about seeking first the kingdom of God, and every other thing will be added unto you. Jesus found their hunger for him and he had pity on them and healed them. Secondly, he found their hunger for food and he did what? He fed them. So my dear friends, talking about feeding them and having pity on them, our hunger for God brings us healings. Now, what am I trying to point out? I'm trying to point out that it's not like people who sit at the back pews are not really not hunger for Christ or something. No. But how is our hunger for Christ when we come to church early first and we sit at the back while the front pews are empty when Christ is so far from us? That's my point. Why would I not want to come closer to Christ and see him? Why should I not want to come first to Mass? Be first to Mass so I can be close to Christ. So this is the point we're trying to make here. And I enjoin every Catholic, everyone who attends Mass every day, to always look at it, discover that it's Christ on the altar of sacrifice, and we hunger for him every day, and we need him, so we are always going to come closer to him, to see him always at the altar. My dear friends, this is Holy Trinity Mission Network. I am Eze Vinblaise. Please, I was told to tell you to always subscribe on this channel, like whatever we post, and like our pages. It's Holy Trinity Mission Network. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Holy Trinity Mission Network. On Instagram and on Twitter, it's going to be HTM Network, and on Facebook is Holy Trinity Mission Network. Please subscribe on this, share this video, and let it reach others. Thank you and God bless you.